Hummer community? Matt here. I just wanted to do a quick video to share a range experience update that I had on an extended towing trip. First and foremost, this is a 2024 Hummer EV SUV with the Extreme Off-Road package. Still has the OEM wheels, 35-inch tires, running at 45 PSI cold, which is what it says on the sticker. And got no issues with the Hummer. Drives great. It's wonderful. Typically on your non-towing range, Google more or less is fairly consistent. And I've been going back and forth with all the Facebook groups on, should you just use Google and forget about it? Should you use a better route planner? Should you try something else? When you're going on extended road trips where you're going to have to charge, I will say unequivocally, I will never use the built-in Google navigation again when I'm towing. Now, I'm not necessarily guaranteeing I'll never use it again just for typical road trips with no trailer, but let me share my experience. So we started from this house right here, and I want to show a picture of my rig that we had, connected. It's a 6 by 14 foot open utility trailer, single axle, and I was towing my 2005 Gem cart, essentially, sort of like a golf cart, towing it up to the beach in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. So from here, that's a good ways away. It's a whole day ordeal. We knew what we were getting into, and very clearly there were going to be charging stops. When we left this house, it was at 100%, and I put all this in Google, let it navigate for us, and it said the very first charging stop that we would have to make was in Augusta, Georgia. All right. And it said we'd get there with around 29 to 30%. Now, I understand, before everybody, goes and hates on me in the comments, that these projections are just projections. And further, Google really has no way of knowing that you're towing a trailer. It's not like it has a tow mode like a better route planner does, which I'm going to show you. Right. So Google is just basing it off of real world. Now, granted, this is real time. It's hooked right into the infotainment. It knows everything that's going on with the vehicle since it came as an integration option, with the Hummers. My big argument with that is there's no way to tell it ahead of time you're towing a trailer. So what we experienced during that first leg of this trip from, we're in Kennesaw, Georgia to Augusta, Georgia, I had to slow down to 60 miles an hour and just pray that we made it to Augusta. And we got to Augusta with about 6% remaining when this had originally showed 29% remaining. Folks, that's an issue. You can't base a trip like that, especially if you're going places where chargers are far and few between. Now, I had already been dabbling with a better route planner, and let me tell you my experience. First and foremost, you have to go to your Google Play Store, download it on your OEM head unit so it shows up just like this, right? You can't just use the app on your phone if you expect any type of battery information. So once you download it, you're going to painfully wait on this thing to open. Let's face it, right? We're not in a 2026 Hummer. The UI and the navigation is slow. There's nothing we can do about it, but it will finally load. Just have to give it some time. It'll go through its gyrations. It'll change the logo a couple times. When it's really slow, I've had luck randomly tapping the screen, and that seems to kind of give it a boost. But when it finally loads, you, of course, will need to set up an account with a better route planner, which you can do for free. But if you expect to use CarPlay, it is a premium feature. Now, 100% best money ever spent for me, and I'll tell you why in a minute, because this sucker is accurate. So you can see right there, it pulls in your actual battery from the Hummer, and this is coming straight from the Hummer, just like your Google does. Now, if you tap on settings, you can go through here and tweak this app if you want. My point and my advice is don't even mess with that. You're not using this app in the head unit for anything other than grabbing this number, sending it to the cloud, and then back to your phone. Literally, that's all that's happening. So once this shows up, you're going to go over to CarPlay or Android Auto or whatever you're rocking, have the app here on your phone. which is, you know, hands down a much better user experience. It's nice, it's buttery smooth. And when you open, notice how it shows offline, and give it a second to refresh, and that should pop on. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is if you don't get this, if this stays red, sometimes you have to force close the app inside the actual Hummer. But see how it just turned green? And I think my phone might be a little on the struggle bus since I'm filming on it. But see how that turned green to 70. Now, we're all set up. It's linked to the vehicle. I've never had it stop the connection mid-drive. Now, I will say, when you power cycle the Hummer, you turn it off, you go in for lunch, you go in for a charge or whatever, and you come back out, if this is disconnected, you have to go back to your home screen. Yes, I understand it's a little bit of a side detour. You have to go to apps, and you have to go to ABRP, A Better Route Planner, force stop it, hit OK. Then, I'm not going to do it since we're connected, but then go back and relaunch it, wait on that to turn green and kind of calm down, and then go back in and it'll be reconnected. That only seems to happen to me during power cycle events, when you turn the vehicle off. And frankly, it doesn't happen every time, but it does on occasion. Once you're connected, you go into the gear icon. This is where you can actually tell it your exact vehicle. Now, right here, you've got towing and standard. I don't know if you guys can see that. Now, if you go under towing, and you can actually see this better on your actual phone when you're doing it on the app. But when you change it to towing mode, it automatically drops your miles per kilowatt hour based on real data that it has collected. Now, granted, if you're starting this off from ground zero, you've never used it before, I believe it uses 0.9, somewhere around there, 0.90, 0.95, or 0.9 miles per kilowatt hour, because that's the average for the Hummer EV 3X, by the way. I'm a 3X, and it bases it on that. But it will track your real usage as you go on your trip, because I saw mine drop to 0.89 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, why is this important, right? So when you change it to towing mode and you go in here, and of course you have your typical GPS settings, but the main thing is that tow mode versus standard mode. And you go in here and you put in a location. I don't know, let's just throw in something recently that we went to, and let's just say the Tesla supercharger in Covington, Georgia, right? Normally CarPlay is a lot snappier than this, so I'm pretty sure my phone recording with the link is slowing things down. But if we hit start driving, it's going to show you up here, just like your GPS and Google would do. It's got your current charge and then what you will arrive at 48. Very nice interface. You can actually go under if you're on an iPhone, you can go change the voice under your accessibility options to give it a better voice, which it'll instruct you how to do. All that's beside the point, right? The TLDR, getting down to brass tacks here, this estimated arrival number, I never had that vary more than 5%. Now, clearly it will also vary because it's a better route planner looks at real-time data from weather, whether it's windy, whether it's raining, elevation changes, and it does its best to forecast what you will have. But the key is it knows you're in towing mode. It knows you're towing something. Now, granted, if you're towing a tri-axle giant Baja boat versus a single axle 6 foot long utility trailer, it doesn't know the difference. But it will calculate real time as you're driving that miles per kilowatt hour and adjust itself so that it projects an accurate range. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is I feel like people are missing this point, because everybody just seems to think on these forums, oh, just put it in Google, you'll be all right. It'll direct you to a charger. When you lose damn near 30% before you make it to your first stop, that is a fail. And it may not be that big of a deal in regular mode, not towing, unless you're going like 80, which I don't do. But when you're towing a trailer of any kind, This app is worth its weight in gold because I watched it adjust through the whole trip. And like I said, most of the time it was either dead accurate, would fluctuate 1% or 2%. Worst case, and this was at the beginning of the trip, keep in mind, when it was still calculating itself, I saw it drop 5%. We used it the whole rest of the trip. So by the time we got home, it was dead accurate. To me, all things aside, that is one key point of this app that you guys really need to check into, because there is a fee to get an annual subscription for CarPlay and Android Auto and real-time weather and all that. But if you spend a lot of time driving where you need to charge and you're also towing, could not recommend this more. And frankly, I'm likely never going to use Google again, because it also is doing that same thing when you're in regular mode and you're not towing. It gives you a much better projected range with accuracy. Because when I've gone on 4-hour, let's say, road trips before, even if I don't have to charge, I have seen Google drop as much as 10% with no trailer. And I'm a conservative driver. I'm not going 80 and 70s and, 75 and 65. I'm normally 5 over the speed limit, maybe 7 over at most. And I've still seen it drop up to 10%. So my advice to you, get this app, A Better Route Planner, install it on your head unit first so that you get your actual battery's information piped in, and then leverage Android Auto or CarPlay for your actual navigation. And be sure you know the difference between the modes, because on the app, almost forgot, on the app, not on CarPlay, but when you open it actually on your phone, when you go into trailer and towing mode, it actually lets you pick what type of trailer you're pulling. Is it a large utility? Is it a double axle? Is it a small trailer? It actually gives you options to pick so that it will adjust based on other users' data, your projected miles per kilowatt hour. Check it out, guys. I'm sorry this video is now, 13 minutes long. I intended it to be 5. Completely missed the boat there. But hopefully you guys have found some value in this. Hands down, a must-have if you drive a Hummer EV. Take care, guys.